Some of our students with special needs are not fully included in the community. They can feel left out, frustrated, isolated, and alone. What can we do about it? Hi, my name is Ben Goods. I'm a grade 12 student here at St. Mary's. I'm the narrator of this play. I feel I am well suited for this role because I myself have autism. I have felt left out, frustrated, isolated, and alone because of my autism, my mannerisms. People don't understand me. I want to make the world a safer, more inclusive, and just place for people like me. I want to help them understand not just people like me, but others like me as well. Not just me, but others like me as well. To me, this project means unlocking people's potential. It also helps educate people and break down some of the social barriers faced by disabled people. We still have a long way to go, but this play is a step in the right direction. Morning. Thanks so much for doing this today.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
We're just going to ask you a series of questions. And if any time you don't feel comfortable answering, just say pass, and we can move on to the next question.
Okay, sure, sounds good.
First question. If your child or sibling could say one thing to the world, what would that be and why?
If she could say one thing to the world, oh dear.
Strangely, the only thing that comes to the surface of my mind is I am happy. I am happy.
It would be happy.
She can't swear, right?
Some people don't have a voice in this world.
Oh gosh, that's a good question. And I think he'd say that we matter, that we matter.
I think she would just say, hello?
I love school!
It would either be he wants to drive all the time, or he would like to find his favorite places to eat, and he needs his food right away.
Really? He just loves food. And if he could try every single food in the world, he would.
So that would be a diner in a road trip, which is basically a trucker.
Yeah, I think she would just say hello to everybody. Like, she's always, like, smacking people to say hi, so I think she would just be walking around, like...
Students like to be happy. He wants other people to be happy, and it's his best favorite word that he could say. Hey, bud, can you say happy?
Because that's her favorite place to be. It's something she enjoys, being at school. She enjoys being around people and engaging and having fun with whatever you do at school.
Or I love you, because she's always like blowing kisses or whatever.
Evan has periods where he's awake and periods where he's kind of out of it or asleep. But when he's awake, he's always smiling. He always wants to hug us or interact with us. Yeah, so he's unaware of stress or upset.
Yeah, definitely hi. Hi to everyone. She likes to do high fives. This is another thing she definitely likes to do.
Well, because they don't have a voice, right? And sometimes kids like Isaiah, and I'm sure you guys know in your school, that sometimes kids like him don't get, get picked, and they don't get looked at, and they get left behind, but they matter just as much as everybody else.
She's very intelligent. She has a sixth sense about what's going on around her, so she can read her room really quickly. But there's that because she can't speak, people assume that she doesn't understand what you're saying, and she does.
Yeah. When she would watch all the other kids all run around and play, and well, she couldn't, you could see it was almost like she was tortured.
She'd get upset and she'd cry.
At first, it started off with staring at the other kids, and then moping, and and then after a while she gets upset, so...
She wants to feel involved.
Even when we're at the table talking at like dinner time or whatever, she wants to at least be able to see us so she can feel like she's a part of the conversation or whatever.
Well, she doesn't like sitting at the table with us, so we'll put the TV on for her, or music on, or...
She's a little girl with her own personality, and sometimes people don't always realize that. They kind of look at her and go, oh, she's just another wallflower, you know? Or she's just like the fixture in the house.
She's also not just her disability. Like, just because she has that doesn't mean she doesn't live her own life and do all her own things, right?
What is an assumption people make based on your child's disability?
That she doesn't know as much as she does, or
She doesn't understand as much as...
And she understands quite a bit more than people think she does.
That she doesn't understand what you're saying, and she's very intelligent. She has a sixth sense about what's going on around her, so she can read a room really quickly, but because she can't speak, people assume that she doesn't understand what you're saying, and she does, and she can communicate back to you if you give her that opportunity.
Oh, based on Evan's disability, assumptions people make. Yeah, you know, most people think, for some reason, most people think he's hard of hearing, so that's a big issue we deal with.
And a lot of people actually assume that he can see.
Even just in the hospital, sometimes with doctors, they come in and they'll start trying to get like really close to him and start talking really loud, you know, like that reaction.
But he can't, so unless you knew that about him, you wouldn't know that he's actually blind, so that is one thing as well.
And I'm always like, number one, he's deaf. So if he has his cochlear implants on, okay, he still doesn't need to be yelled at.
That isn't obvious to those who don't know him.
And secondly, he's nonverbal. So like trying to elicit a response from him where you want him to answer a question is kind of like, you know?
Because Liam looks like he is normal, and when he throws a tantrum, you know, people expect me to be able to handle him normally.
just like, why is he here? Can he go to another room? Can he just get out?
That he won't understand. You don't have a clue of his capacity of comprehension.
They see a kid that looks like any other teenager, you know, once they get to see his different ways of doing things, then they go, oh, he's not normal, he's different.
I know it might just be from my perspective, but I can tell by a glance that some people are very judgy when it comes to kids like him.
But sometimes Liam gets, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but people make judgment just by how he presents himself.
Like, everybody looks at her and goes, oh, her disability must suck. And like,
People make judgments.
some people are very judgy.
I think the biggest one is that he won't understand.
Because she can't speak, people assume that she doesn't understand what you're saying, and she does.
And she understands quite a bit more than people think she does.
She understands.
Her understanding and compassion.
If we are teasing my wife here, or my daughter here, Ashley will laugh without anybody else laughing, knowing that we're actually teasing them, but
She understands jokes.
she tells us yes or no if she wants something. And if we give her the wrong thing, She lets us know. She understands, it seems like.
One thing my mom always does is she'll go, Ashley, like your hair is so pretty. And instantly she pushes her hair back. Like she knows that we're talking about how pretty her hair is.
You don't have a clue of his capacity of comprehension. And so people think he isn't always listening, because he is always listening. Yes, there's not as much reciprocal communication, but he takes it all in.
Yeah, I think it's the times when he's not understood, when he doesn't have the vocabulary to explain. Like, maybe a good example, Daniel will often say search. Maybe he'll do it here. Search, search. Search for something, but if you say search for what, he just can't tell you the what, and that happens every day, and it just goes to show you the frustration, like when you can't communicate the entire thought.
I think sometimes as a parent it's even worse, because I feel like as his mom, I should completely know what he wants. Those moments where he has a meltdown, and it's like guilt and sad, you know, because I should know.
A moment in her life when I understood how she was feeling. Yes, when her grandmother died. Yeah, it was memorable. Her understanding and compassion was very insightful, because she was with her grandmother when she died. She understood all of it.
What did you do you saw? What was her reaction?
Well, this is so sad. I don't know, honestly. It's because we were talking about her grandmother this morning. That's why she's coming to my mind right now. She was with her grandmother, holding her hand just before she died, and I wasn't in the room. She was by herself with her grandma, and she called me into the room. Yeah, so she knew it was happening, and she called. She called. She understood all of it.
What are some things that made him happy?
Well, I mean, I know you guys know he's super funny because he likes to be silly, so we all know that. But he's the sweetest little boy, and he's very loving, and he's very cheeky, very, very cheeky, if everyone doesn't know that.
When he's happy, he's the most sweetest thing ever. Lots of hugs and kisses. He's just so sweet.
When I sit and cuddle with him and he just like instantaneously relaxes and is like purely comfortable and content.
And he also has this kind, loving side to him where he hugs you and he wants you to be happy.
Your normal stuff, noises, bodily noises, yeah, well, anything, things like that are funny.
She loves music, so that would be another thing.
Ashley, she likes excitement. She likes music. She likes speed.
He has, like I said, about 5 or 6 songs that he loves. He sings bingo, ABCs, row your boat, twinkle twinkle. He loves Oh Canada, Happy Birthday and Wheels on the Bus, Old MacDonald.
And you know what? I should have said somewhere in there that Maria likes handsome boys. I should have said that somewhere in there.
Well, she's got no luck with that in this class.
Oh! Didn't that get you right in the heart?
That was pretty harsh. That really roasted the crap out of me.
He likes games.
Really keeping his left hand occupied.
She likes speed.
Funny shows.
I don't know.
He loves his drum.
He likes games. He definitely imitates back and forth faces or noises. He likes to be silly. He likes to be sneaky.
Really keeping his left hand occupied. And you know whether or not you play with his hand, or you clap with his hand, or you play, "Where's Isaiah?
Where's Isaiah?"
And then you move it, he loves it because he does it himself. I don't know if he ever does it for you guys. Takes your hand, covers his eyes. "Where's Isaiah?
Where's Isaiah?"
There he is. It's one of his favorite games.
She likes speed. So like we know that she likes to go fast. So we have a vehicle that we take to our farm that if you don't go fast in it, she's not happy.
Yeah, funny shows, funny TV shows. She loves the Mr. Bean. She loves the British comedy. I don't know where she gets that from.
I don't know. He likes telling this one joke, which is, "You smell." Yeah, the world should be more fun. That's more play and less making him do stuff.
He loves his drum. We have a drum for him at home. And when he's really aggressive, we just really let him get on that drum. And he seems to kind of get a lot of that frustration out.
I mean, she is such a drama queen and loves to be up front, so that's where I want to see her carry on in life, in some form of creative acting, I guess, in the theater. I don't know anyway, because I see that's where her gifts are.
And sometimes he just wants to be quiet. He just wants to be in a quiet place. He wants to be laying down and doing his own thing. I don't blame him sometimes, you know.
It's not fair. It's not fair what happened with Ashley and all that kind of thing. But at the same time, I mean, people don't even have things half as bad as her. And I can look at them and go, well, then they're special needs themselves. And sadly, you can accept them in the general population. We can only do what we can do. It's not fair, but we have to make it the best as we can for her and even ourselves. And you go at it because you're a family, and you do the best you can.
They are a gift, and she has something to offer to people. And yeah, so I'm proud. I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of the fact that it makes other people understand other people, that we're not all the same, and we have to find our common ground, our community.
She's actually probably one of the best things that have ever happened to me.
I couldn't change things. I can't imagine life without her. I wouldn't change things, you know?
The thing is, if it wasn't for Ashley coming into our life, we would have missed out on our third child. Number one, so we would have missed out on our boy. And secondly, she makes us realize how good we have it, no matter what.
That's right, yeah.
Break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Life is a highway. I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, I wanna drive it all night long. Throughout I came to get down. smelly and I know it. I'm smelly and I know it. I'm smelly and I know it. I'm smelly and I know it. You don't like take a sniff? No?
Everybody, please rise and stand at attention for the playing of our national anthem.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking of something to do for his birthday this year because, like, birthdays are really hard. He can't eat now, so, you know, I can't make him a cake, and I can't make his favorite dinner, and, you know, so there are very limited things I can kind of do to, with him to make him happy other than just, you know, interacting with him. But he has literally only sort of reacted a couple of times with going to events or places, and one of them is the aquarium in Toronto. I always find it really fascinating watching him. So I go through the aquarium, and everyone else is looking at all of the, like, you know, amazing, you know, fish and sharks and all this stuff. But I spend the whole entire time watching his expression. And I don't actually think that he catches the movement of some of the animals, but 9 times out of 10, I would say that his fascination is with the light that ripples off the top of the surface of the water. And I think, like, I just watch him, and he's in such, like, wonderment of that thing. And I think for him, it's very simple things that are very stimulating, where he has this joy that other people don't notice or don't focus on the way that he does. So I feel that he sees things we don't see, and other things to him, other things are trivial.
Do you feel the world sufficiently accommodates your child?
Oh, goodness, no.
No.
Yeah, we have different views there.
I would say no.
Yes, I will say the world does the best it can.
No, I don't. I don't think it accommodates a lot of children with special needs.
Yes and no.
I feel it's gone bad over the years, like say from the 80s to the present. I don't feel that after they turn 18, though. There's a whole different system that my son has to go through. And if you ever see Liam, he is not able to make judgment calls like you, you know, like his fellow classmates like you. So I think it's somewhat fair up until they turn a certain age, and it's almost like they wipe the map on them.
Adding to the fact that Isaiah does have a wheelchair, There are a lot of places he can't access, which isn't great. And a lot of times, especially in healthcare, the wait times are too long.
Every moment we were at doctor's offices and stuff, and he had to wait. It could be 3 or 4 hours before we saw the doctor. Those always stood out to me because you can't go anywhere to make Liam happy.
They don't have specific, I wish they had better systems for kids with special needs, especially ones that are aggressive or self-injurious to themselves. And yeah, no, I don't. I don't think it accommodates them very well.
You can't go anywhere to, make sure he's good. And sometimes even the doctor would say no food or drink, which would make it especially hard. So those are the moments that stand out.
We've tried 17 years with a lot of different people to try and figure out why Isaiah sometimes behaves the way he does. And sometimes it's frustration. It's he's upset. He doesn't want to be where he is. He doesn't like the noise, or it's too quiet, or I'm sitting for too long, or it's too cold, I'm too hot. I don't want to be in the wheelchair anymore. And there's so many different things with Isaiah. So we just try and pick at it, one thing at a time, just to see what we can do to help him feel better.
You'd have to elaborate on that. See, I don't think the world owes Daniel anything, really. Daniel's got a life that he's going to lead and get the most that he can out of it, People need to be kind to Daniel. That's about the way we look at it. I don't know why you say no.
I just think, sufficient is, I just think that there's accommodations out there that aren't being made, that I think you don't realize until you have to deal with a person like that. So I think it's that the world is made really neurotypical, that's all. So there's a lot of little things I would change.
There could be more programming, more opportunities. It's hard to say, too, in this time of COVID because we've been so shut down.
Because I feel Ashley's and issues shouldn't be the world's, it should be ours. And I actually appreciate how far we've come at this point. Sorry, I'm in construction, so I actually have to build these places with handicap access. I actually have to make every single building accessible. So nowadays, I really think we go out of our way. I think that all the government organizations and all that, they really try to help the school systems. My God, I cannot believe on how much emphasis they put on trying to keep her in the school systems instead of keeping her separate like they used to back in the day.
Well, I think like what he was saying, the way we try to accommodate them in everyday life. We are working towards doing a good job of that, but I think...
Some people, when I take her out, they don't understand that she has this disability. When she goes to tap you on the backside, and, it gets them upset, so it gets me upset. And
that's the individual.
I think it's the people.
Most of the general population are wonderful. They try to communicate with her and ask about her, so.
At school, it's different. And you guys always do a great job of interacting with her and the other kids.
And they're amazing.
A lot of people at school are really good with her. But I think outside of school, it's hard for people to actually interact with her.
People have to learn that over time, Liam will have his bad traits, of course, but he also has this kind of loving side to him where he hugs you and he wants you to be happy. If I cried, he always hugs me, so he has that in him, but people don't or are too afraid to ever see that because they usually quit on me or they leave him alone and then they don't get to know him.
I think that people don't know how to interact with people with special needs, so they kind of avoid it.
Even though he might not understand everything, he absolutely does understand, some of the things that are going on around him. And sometimes people don't give him that chance to let him show that.
Maybe they just don't know how to communicate, Maybe those people just don't know how to interact with her.
And it's just one of those things where you would talk to her like you would talk to anyone else. No different. She wants to talk to you, Yeah, they see things a little bit differently sometimes, but it's just one of those things. Like, don't treat her differently just because of her disability.
They matter just as much as everybody else. I make sure that every day, whether it's in the household with my other kids or with friends or out of the home, that we make Isaiah's days the best they possibly can. Yeah, as much as we can for him, And that's the only thing right now that matters to me, is taking care of him, that he's happy.
Happy.
Yes, I can't take away any of the hardships that Evan has to go through, and they're daily for sure, which is really hard as a parent and has always been in the back of my mind because with Evan, he was born normal. So to know as a parent, okay, my life is gonna have this trajectory and it's gonna have this life, and now he lost that. That was taken away. He has no knowledge of that. He's completely oblivious to the loss, what was. It's only me that feels that, or his family. So therefore, I'm always having to try to retrain my brain and say, but he's happy.
He's happy.
Happy. He wants other people to be happy, and it's just his best favorite word that he can say.
He's happy. So, as much as it's painful for me, it's not painful for him. And I have to just let that go and, focus on what he is getting.
I think with anything, you could approach it from glass half full. It doesn't really matter what you're going through, so absolutely, I agree, but we all know that life generally isn't fair, right? We all know that saying, life isn't fair, but it doesn't have to be fair for Daniel, but I think...
Yeah. We try to make whatever deficiencies he has less, the impact of that less. Still try to give him a happy life. So, yeah.
What's the most important lesson your child has taught you?
Living with things in your life.
Oh gosh, compassion. I think compassion is the biggest one.
Unconditional love.
Compassion and understanding.
She's taught me to be less self-conscious.
The notion that some people don't have a voice in this world.
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 The notion that some people don't have a voice in this world.
I really, just sort of living in the moment, I think, is the big one.
Be proud of her differences.
Right. I don't know that I've learned it, but I think Daniel teaches you more about yourself.
I look at Daniel and what he's brought to the other two siblings, the normal or neurotypical siblings. I think what they choose to pick up from him strengthens that in them. Like, whatever negatives he has to deal with, he's turning them into positives for his brothers.
With Maria, you can't hide anywhere. I can't hide anywhere. We can't go anywhere and be quiet, which is my personality. So I've had to learn to come up and be out in public and confident and proud of that.
You'll always love those certain people in your life. And yeah, life is really difficult sometimes. And that even though life is really hard sometimes, you still have a good life. And we make the best out of her situation.
She's actually probably one of the best things that have ever happened to me. I mean, what other father gets to come home and hug their 20-year-old daughter?
I can't imagine life without her. I wouldn't change things,
They are a gift, and she has something to offer to people. And yeah, so I'm proud of the fact that it makes other people understand other people, that we're not all the same, and we have to find our common ground, our community. And that's, again, one thing that Maria's taught me about the greater community and how kind and generous people are usually.
You just have to have kindness for everybody, anyone, and everyone. You have to have kindness and compassion towards them.
When I sit and cuddle with him and he just instantaneously relaxes and is purely comfortable and content, I'm reminded oh right, stop thinking about all the other stuff that's clouding your brain and making you feel unhappy, because the reality is these peaceful moments are what is important.
Yeah, that'll come quick.
Patience.
I never had patience growing up, and he has really taught me. Don't get me wrong, I got many a day with no patience. But he has taught me that, sometimes you need to stop, take a deep breath, and see other solutions to problems. And I was never like that, okay? I was always one-minded way. Yeah, Liam was in a store, like say Walmart, for example, and he was throwing one of his bad tantrums, and I was at my wit's end because every other person had a phone now to check out how I was going to deal with it, or they were gonna come and I don't know, they were just looking. No one was trying to help me, and I had my two other little kids with me needing my assistance too, and I remember thinking, okay, I gotta get myself together. So he was little enough I could pick him up, put him in the stroller or the cart, and I got my two other little ones to hold on to the cart, and we went out, but it's not always like that. But sometimes if you can just get your own thoughts and feelings together, you know, take a deep breath. Forget about the people who have their phone out, checking you out, ready to put it on YouTube. And you know, you just deal with it. But if you lose your cool, which I have, thankfully not in public that I can remember, but if you do, you're gonna have a whole other mess of problems. You just gotta suck it in and do baby steps. You know, what's my first step dealing with this? And that's what I've done.
Can you tell me about Liam?
Really, he just loves food. And if he could try every single food in the world, he would.
It would either be he wants to drive all the time, or he would like to find his favorite places to eat, and he needs his food right away. So that would be a diner and a road trip, which is basically a trucker.
Some people don't have a voice in this world. Just like, why is he here? Can he go to another room? Can he just get out? I know it might just be from my perspective, but I can tell by a glance that some people are very judgy when it comes to kids like him, and I feel bad because my brother can't control it.
Because Liam looks like he's normal, and you know, when he throws a tantrum, people expect me to be able to handle him normally. I think that's the biggest assumption. You know, they don't see a kid that looks like any other teenager. Once they get to see his different ways of doing things, then they go, oh, he's not normal, he's different. But sometimes I get, or Liam gets, I'm sorry, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but people make judgment just by how he presents himself.
I think my brother doesn't have a voice for himself, so people like my mom and me, we try to express how he feels. We try to understand how he feels.
He has really good loving traits that he wants to be good. He just has to be told that, and people have to learn that over time. Liam will have his bad traits, of course, but he also has this kind, loving side to him where he hugs you and he wants you to be happy. You know, if I've cried, he always hugs me, so he has that in him, but people don't, or are too afraid to ever see that because they usually quit on me or they leave him alone, and then they don't get to know him.
When he's happy, he's the most sweetest thing ever. Lots of hugs and kisses. He's just so sweet. He's not hard to get along with, you know. He's very open, and he, like I said, he likes to hug, and he's just very kind and gentle. Some people don't have a voice in this world, and which is why I'm doing We Are Silent, because I want to show that some people, like my brother, even though they can't say some words, they can express their actions, right? Well, they can express their emotions.
I never had patience growing up, and he has really taught me. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I got many a day with no patience, but he has taught me that you need to stop, take a deep breath, and see other solutions to problems.
It will never be fair for them. And there will always be these judging people in the world that believe they shouldn't exist. But if we can make their life look even the tiniest bit better by giving them something to look forward to in their day, I think that'd be great.
It doesn't matter who you are or what age you are. To bring someone joy is a way of also bringing them some peace in their lives. As you get older, I don't know if you'll find this, but you don't laugh as much, and with COVID and everything has done that. So to find joy in the little things that give them to these special needs kids is what I want. And even if it's taking him on a walk and showing him things, you know, he might not be interested in it, but the time I have with him, he enjoys. He likes his one-on-one time, and that's his joy.
The connection that keeps playing in my mind is when I played the piano and sang for Ashley. The smile that I saw on her face after I had finished warmed my heart, and after, she gave me a high five. That made my day.
Over time, I've learned that people with special needs are still people that have their own unique personalities or quirks. They're just hidden under a sheet that people are too afraid to lift off them. One time, Daniel dressed up in a wig and sunglasses, and he was going around giving everybody high fives or fist bumps. I felt that Daniel was making a connection with everybody, and he felt like we all cared about him and we wanted to be around him. This helped me lift the sheet and connect with Daniel and learn who he really is.
I was nervous at first because usually throughout school I don't have classes that give me a consistent opportunity to communicate amongst my peers. So suddenly talking was something that was difficult due to being silent for so long. Something that quickly stood out to me was just the love that everyone shows to one another.
All these kids suffer from different conditions and each has different limitations. They do not have anything that prevents them from being human. They feel and love the same way as we do. I realize they're not as different as society would have us believe.
They are kids with disabilities and they want to make connections and friends with the people around them. One time I was dancing with Maria and a group with other students, and I would do a dance move and Maria would copy my moves, and I thought it was really fun.
I see a connection almost every day. And the idea of connection is not just through words. It's through physical touch, such as fist bumps and high fives. It's through trust and permission when they allow you to play their board games and they allow you to dance with them. As long as we can try to be as welcoming as we can, the idea of connection will always be important.
My perspective has changed a lot about kids with disabilities. What most of these students are suffering from have their separate limitations, but yet are not restricting them from being human. They're not as different as people expect them to be.
They taught me to get out of my comfort zone and that it is okay to be silly. These kids have taught me to enjoy the simpler things in life and that it is okay to branch out and take a risk.
Seeing them try to bring joy to everyone in the class has really opened my eyes to how they are feeling. Every time Daniel comes into the class and asks for fist bumps, I can feel his want to interact with others and have fun. It is amazing how easily they are able to bring joy to others through simple things like this.
When parents in the interview said that people would talk to their children like they could not understand them and would treat them differently, this stood out to me because my cousin who has Down syndrome is often treated like he is stupid and cannot understand people, but he is actually very smart. People usually do not give him the time to show them how smart, kind, and funny he can be.
I didn't know what to expect as we progressed and got to where we are now. I realized that this brings everyone together. This brings people who we would normally not talk to together.
It has been amazing to just play or sit and make friends with these students. It is great to sing at the piano for Ashley, dance with Maria and Liam, sing nursery rhymes with Isaiah, and do puzzles with Daniel. I feel that sometimes it is difficult to know how much someone who is nonverbal really understands before you get to know them. It is clear that they understand a lot more than people may originally think.
I never knew how much these kids understood. I had always assumed that they were not able to comprehend and understand what was going on around them. But throughout this class, I've seen many examples that they can understand and can comprehend everything going on. Something that showed me a real connection was not one moment, but many repetitions of the same thing. Daniel making jokes towards Barnett every single day shows that he has built a connection through Barnett, with something just as simple as saying he smells every day.
I feel like this class has been really fun so far, and when we play games, brings everybody together and we have fun together.
When I was with Daniel, I really enjoyed interacting with him, and he would give me a fist bump, and we would socialize. It was good. I got to interact with him on a personal level, and he really enjoyed that. He really enjoyed my company. I really enjoyed his company. We saw each other as, equals.
At first, there was this separation between the special ed student and the rest of us. Special ed student would just stay in their own little bubble while the rest of us were doing activities. Since we started the semester, it was great to include the other by playing with them and accommodating their needs. It helped us to understand truly who they are. For me, it helped me grow and learn what inclusivity is and create bonds.
Kids like them, they get left out behind sometimes. Like most kids, they haven't even got the chance to get to know them. Like everyone nowadays just judge a book by its cover, and I like it when everyone interacts and no one's being left behind.
Even though I've had classes with some of these students before, I have never gotten to know them. I never went out of my way to learn more about them. All I knew was that Ashley liked high fives and listening to the piano, and that Maria loved loud music. I did not communicate with them, and I didn't even say hi. Despite the fact that I thought I was a pretty accepting person, I never tried to learn more about them. Throughout this process, I have learned about these students, what their likes and interests are, and what makes them smile. I can honestly say that I am much happier when I am spending time with them. I have fun trying to make them smile and playing with them. When they are having a good time, I am having a good time. If you could say one thing to the world, what would it be?
Hi!
I love school!
Happy.
I am happy. Home.
We matter.
Lesson that Ashley has taught you?
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. Can you expand on that?
Like no matter the circumstance, you're always gonna love those certain people in your life, and
she's actually probably one of the best things that ever happened to the family.
I couldn't change. I would be lost without her. I wouldn't change things.
A few things. If it wasn't for her coming into the family, we would have probably had a third child, number one, so we would have missed out on. The other thing is she makes us realize how good we have it no matter what.
That's good, yeah.
What other father gets to come home and gets a hug from a 20-year-old daughter?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
If your child could say one thing to the world, what do you think it would be and why?
If she could say one thing in the world?
To the world, yes.
I think one thing to the world? Oh, dear. I love school.
And why do you think she would say that?
Because that's her favorite place to be, she enjoys being at school. She enjoys being around people and engaging and having fun with whatever you do at school. I guess the other thing is that she loves music. So that would be another thing that she'd want to say to the world. I don't know, but she loves school.
That's amazing.
What is one thing you want people to know about your child that isn't obvious to those who don't?
That isn't obvious? I think, I'm going to jump on that, but I think that he has a really good sense of humor.
Yeah,
that you don't know.
I actually know he does. I sometimes I sometimes go and I'm actually special needs myself. I used to have an educational assistant, so back in grade 9, grade 10, I used to spend a lot of time around Daniel, and I kind of graduated from having a full-time EA about 2 years ago, or about 2.5 years ago. And he has a great sense of humor. He really loves playing with cars and toys, and sometimes we play around with those. And he always, sometimes when when I scrunch my face up or something like that, he always smiles, and he does the same thing. He likes to make funny faces and funny noises, and I find that really amusing. So I already know he has a great sense of humor.
Thank you for that.
He's a great guy. You're very lucky. You're very blessed to have him.
Can you describe a moment that stood out to you and made you understand what life is like for your child and how they're feeling?
Yeah, I was thinking about something to do for his birthday this year. I can't make him a cake, and I can't, make his favorite dinner, and so there are very limited things that I can kind of do that make him happy other than just, interacting with him. But he has literally only sort of reacted a couple of times with going to events or places, and one of them is the aquarium in Toronto. And I just always find it really fascinating watching him. So I go through the aquarium and everyone else is looking at all of the amazing fish and sharks and all this stuff, but I spend the whole entire time watching his expression. 9 times out of 10, I would say that his fascination is with the light that ripples off the top of the surface of the water. And I always think, I just watch him and he's in such wonderment of that thing. And sometimes I think that's it. I think for him, it's just very simple things that are very stimulating, or where he has this joy that other people don't notice or maybe don't focus on the way that he does. So I feel that he sees things we don't see.
Yes.
And other things to him are trivial.
Yes.
They think Isaiah doesn't understand anything. They think that just because he can't really quite respond to them, or he's not paying attention, that he doesn't understand anything, which is not the case for him. Because even though he might not understand everything, he absolutely does understand, some of the things that are going on around him, and sometimes people don't give him that chance to let him show that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
What is the most important lesson your brother has taught you?
Emotions. Just wait. Some people don't have a voice in this world, and which is why I'm doing We Are Silent. I want to show that some people, like my brother, even though he can say some words, he can't express his own emotions. Right.
What is one thing you want people to know about your child that isn't obvious if you haven't spent a lot of time with them?
That he has really good loving traits, that he wants to be good, he just has to be told, and people have to learn that over time. Liam will have his bad traits, of course, but he also has this kind, loving side to him where he hugs you and he wants you to be happy. If I've cried, he always hugs me. So he has that in him, but people are too afraid of him to ever see that, because they usually quit on me or they leave him alone, and then they don't get to know him.
Don't think about it, just move your body. Listen to the music, sing oh, eh, oh. Just move those left feet, go ahead, get crazy. Anyone can do it, sing oh, eh, oh. Show the world you got that fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. feel better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah. I'm better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah. And we can do this together. I bet you feel better when you're dancing. Yeah, yeah. When you finally let go and you slay that solo, 'cause you listen to that music, sing oh, hey, oh, 'cause you're confident, babe, yeah, and you make your hips sway. We knew that you could do it, sing oh, hey, oh, show the world you got that fire, fire, baby, feel the rhythm getting louder, show the room what you can do, move to them, you got the moves, hey. I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm dancing, yeah, yeah. I'm better when I'm dancing, yeah, yeah. And we can do this together. I bet you feel better when you're dancing, yeah,
Hi, can I have everyone's attention, please? Thank you. Hi. Oh. Anyone cry? Miss, can you join us?
Can we just get a round of applause for Miss Euphrates?
I just wanted to say that over the past 4 years of high school, I found my home away from home on this stage. I have found a drama family that supports everyone, and this is made possible by all the hard work that Miss Newberry does. You know, all the days upon days, the months upon months that she pours into these productions, and you know, to make them look this incredible. And I can't begin to express how much this play means to me and to many others. You know, Miss Newberry heard the voices of these 6 students, and she shared them with all of us. And as the director of the play, none of this would have been possible without you, so thank you. And as a small token of our appreciation and gratitude, we have some flowers and a gift for you, so thank you, Miss,
They're
so much.
beautiful.
You know, I'll say this. This was a crazy idea that I had. During COVID, we were shut down, couldn't do anything. I was at home with these kids doing drama through the computer with puppets because we couldn't do anything else, so we made puppets and we did puppets through the screen. But this thing was rolling around in my head for a while. And I'll say this, the most important people in any project or creative endeavor are the ones that look and first say yes. So there's a crazy internet video out there called The First Follower, and they say it's okay to go out there and say, hey, I have this idea, but if nobody steps up and says, yeah, I'll do that, then it doesn't happen. So I know Julia's giving me a lot of credit here, and I appreciate that, but I could not do it unless all of these people, you included, them up on the balcony and everyone, said yes and agreed to do it with me. Because I can't do it without these kids up here agreeing and buying into it. They bought in. So I came in and I explained this idea to them, and they all bought in. They bought in. They agreed, and they were like, "Yes, I agree. I'm there with you, miss." And that to me was the most important thing, because some of them I know will, no matter what I say, they'll be like, yeah, like she'll say, hell yeah, you know, and she doesn't even know what it is. I said, hey, Elodie, I have this idea, and she'd say, hell yeah. And Julia has never said no to any offer that I've made her. But there were some other students who were like not it was the first time taking drama, and I was like, guys, you're stepping into this, and this is, I know you're just here to get your arts credit, but we're gonna do this big thing. And I give them mad respect because they not only got the arts credit, I mean, it's not over yet, but they're gonna get it. But they did this great, amazing thing. So I give, mad respect to all of the kids that did that, as well as to the audience for coming out and buying tickets and driving your kids here and taking them home. And bringing them in on weekends, to Mr. Ciprietti, who was here lugging wires and speakers and troubleshooting for the whole week and last week as well. And thank you to administration, who was like, yep, shut down the cafeteria, do it, whatever, how can we help you, miss, for being on board and supporting us through that. And just to everyone who had to say, especially to the families of those kids, those 6 kids with special needs, and to the kids with special needs themselves, because every day I learn something new from them. I think it's Rachel's character that says, they are a gift. And I always thought I knew that. Like my mother, from years ago, sorry, Beck, my sister's there. My mother was the first person to teach me that there is a divinity inside each person, and that no matter what they look like, there's a person in there. There's a person inside everyone, and that, to quote Bill, there's not just another wallflower. They're not just a fixture in the house. That these are people. And my mother was the first person to teach me that. She was a pediatrician who specialized in working with children with special needs, and was on the school board with Mr. Daly as well. And I always remember that, and I thought I knew it. I thought I did, and I know I had this conversation with Stephanie today because Maria came to see the play, and Maria vocalizes and makes a lot of noises and claps her hands and stuff like that because she's very happy and excited and high energy all the time. And so we can hear her in the background throughout the play, and it's fine. We love Maria. She can make as much noise as she wants, and it's fine. But when it comes to the scene about Liam, she is very quiet because she knows that we lost Liam in March. So when it comes to that scene, she's quiet. And then she saw Stephanie in the hall. She stopped Stephanie.
She did that
Stephanie,
to me.
Yeah. And she said, and Stephanie said, "Did you like the play?" And Maria said, and then she went like this. She knows. She understood. And Rachel, that character said, she understood all of it. And I thought I knew, but now I think I really know. Like I didn't know. I didn't know. So I thank the parents. I hope Bill's here somewhere. Bill made it tonight. Yay! Bill, thank you. And Laura. I could just say, man, I had no idea. And I still probably have a lot to learn. So thank you for giving us your beautiful children and letting us learn from them. Because they give more than we give them. We think of a work, the caregivers, but they give to us, I think, more. The day that we learned that Liam had passed away, Daniel came into the room and everyone was all sad and crying. And Daniel looked around and I could just see the look on his face. He was like, my friends are sad. And then he started walking around giving everyone fist bumps, pointing at people and saying, you smell. And instantly the mood lifted and changed because he gave us that gift. So they are a gift. Yeah. I'm not going to keep talking with you. Y'all have been here all night, and this fine man wants to take the paper off the windows. Let's play something upbeat.
Don't think about it, just move your body. Listen to the music, sing oh, eh, oh. Just move those left feet, go ahead, get crazy. Anyone can do it, sing oh, eh, oh. Show the world you got that fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. Show the room what you can do, prove to them you got the moves. Hey, I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm dancing. amazing.